মনোজিতে সাংগীতিক সন্তরণ। ঈশ্বর প্রদত্ত ক্ষমতা বলে যদি সত্যিই কিছু থেকে থাকে তাহলে মনোজিতে তা ছিল অফুরান। জলে নামলেই যেমন মণিমাণিক্য মেলে না, তেমন সঙ্গীত জীবনের শুরুতেই ল্যাটিন মিউজিক করার সুযোগ কিন্তু আসেনি। তবে রক, পপ এসব বিভিন্ন ধারার সঙ্গীত চর্চা করতে করতে তার অভিজ্ঞতা বাড়তে থাকে লাফিয়ে লাফিয়ে, আর বাড়তে থাকে ল্যাটিন মিউজিক চর্চা করার অদম্য ইচ্ছা। শুনব সেই সব গোড়ার কথা।
আচ্ছা, ওরিয়েন্ট এক্সপ্রেস তোমার প্রথম ব্যান্ড নয়, মানে তোমার ক্যারিয়ারের প্রথম দিককার ব্যান্ডগুলো?
ঠিক, একদম ঠিক। আমার একদম প্রথম ব্যান্ড নিউ ব্লুজ কানেকশন বলে একটা ব্যান্ড, ওটা আমারই নাম দেওয়া ছিল।
আচ্ছা, এই নামটা আমিও জানতাম না।
নিউ ব্লুজ কানেকশন 82 সাল এটা প্রথম করেছিল।
আচ্ছা,
এখানে আমি অমিত দা একসঙ্গে ছিল, আর আমাদের সঙ্গে আমি, অমিত, র্যান্ডল ফ্রান্সিস বলে একজন ছেলে মৃদং গিটার বাজাতো এবং গাইতো। সে আমাদের থেকে তখনই অনেকটা সিনিয়র ছিল বয়সে। আর ডাগলাস পার্ল বলে একজন আমাদের সঙ্গে বেশ গিটার বাজাতো। এইটা হচ্ছে আমার প্রথম, যেটা মানে অফিসিয়াল ব্যান্ড বলতে যেটা বোঝায় এইটা।
এবং পারফরমেন্সও করেছে।
একদম একদম একদম। আর পারফরমেন্স মানে বেশ অনেক পারফরমেন্স, তার ভিতরে অনেক মানে যেটাকে বলে একটা মজাও আছে যে ক্রিশ্চিয়ান ওয়েডিং, প্রচুর ক্রিশ্চিয়ান ওয়েডিং এ বাজিয়েছি, সেখানে অনেক মানে আনন্দ আছে, সেসবগুলো মানে সুন্দর মানে স্মৃতি হয়ে রয়েছে। হ্যাঁ, তাছাড়া তো কর্পোরেট গিগস, তারপরে তোমার তোর ক্লাব শোজ, সমস্ত।
তারপর ডিফা ব্রাদার্স
না,
মাঝখানে
না, সেই ডিফা ব্রাদার্স অনেক বছর পরে, সেটা 90 দশক হলো।
আচ্ছা,
এইটা 80 কথা বলছি, একদম পুরো 80 গোড়ায়, 80-82। তারপরে হয়েছে এয়ারওয়েভ বলে একটা ব্যান্ড।
আচ্ছা,
সেখানে জ্ঞান সিং, জয়শ্রী সিং, নন্দন বাগচি, লিউ হিল্ট একটু পরে জয়েন করেছিল, তার আগে বেস গিটার বাজাতো মরিস গ্যাব্রিয়েল বলে। এই হচ্ছে আমার অ্যাজ এ ল্যাটিন পারকাশনিস্ট হিসেবে কাজ পাওয়া রেগুলার, এবং ল্যাটিন পারকাশনিস্ট হয়ে কাজ করা এয়ারওয়েভে।
আচ্ছা,
সেখান থেকে আমি এখানে আমার বলে রাখা উচিত অন রেকর্ড যে প্রথমে এই ব্যান্ডে চান্স পেয়েছিল অমিত দা। প্রথম যে আমি বলেছি যে ফার্স্ট প্রফেশনাল গিগটা আমি চান্স পেয়েছি, তারপরে অমিত দা এসেছিল। আর এইটাতে ফার্স্ট অমিত দা চান্স পেয়েছিল, তারপরে আমি ওখানে থাকতে ওদের সঙ্গে মাঝে মাঝে একটু এত বাড়াতাম, তখন অমিত দাদের রিহার্সাল করতাম। তো এটা আমার অন রেকর্ড বলে রাখা উচিত যে যার জন্য আমি সারা জীবন ওনার প্রতি কৃতজ্ঞ থাকবো, তিনি হচ্ছে নন্দন বাগচি। উনি প্রথম বলেন যে মনোজিৎকে নিতে হবে, মানে কচু ব্যান্ডে নিতে হবে, আর ও তার লাইন পারকাশন বাজাচ্ছে। ও তখন বললো, তখন ব্যান্ড লিডার ছিল জ্ঞান সিং, জয়শ্রী সিং, এদেরকে বলে তখন ও আমাকে ব্যান্ডে নিয়েছিল। ওর ইনিশিয়েটিভ, মানে নন্দনের ইনিশিয়েটিভ। এটা আমার মানে এটা ও আমার জীবনে একটা বিরাট বড় অবদান।
হ্যাঁ, নন্দনদা তো আমাদের সব মানে অনেকটাই জুড়ে রয়েছে।
একদম।
কচু, মনোজিৎ দত্ত আমার মতে নাম্বার 1 সাউথ আমেরিকান অ্যান্ড স্প্যানিশ পারকাশন player in the country. Number 1, I have never seen anybody who understands that those percussion instruments in the same way that Kochu understood them. He could make them talk, and it was 100% real and true and genuine. So we played together in the same band for maybe 11 years, traveling together, living together. So we had a lot of fun also, laughing, joking, irritating, and purposely trying to irritate and make someone angry. All the joking and all the things that friends do, people who are true friends, what they do when they travel and it's a long holiday, that is what we also did.
তারপরে ওখানে বাজানো বহু বছর, এবং ওখানে বাজানো মানে সেই নানান জায়গায় বাজানো, এবং রেগুলার শো করা। আচ্ছা, তারপরের ব্যান্ডটা হলো শিবা। তারপরে শিবাতে বাজে।
শিবা তো বিশাল নামটা।
And freedom by your side. But all you do is sit high.
হ্যাঁ, শিবা এখনো এই প্রজন্মের কাছে অনেকের কাছেই নামটা আছে। তো এখানে বলে রাখা ভালো, আমি এইসব করছিলাম, কিন্তু আমার মনের ভেতরে আমার যে সাধনা, ওটা আমি মানে পুরোপুরি চালিয়ে যাচ্ছিলাম অ্যাজ এ ল্যাটিন পারকাশনিস্ট। এগুলো বাজিয়েছি, ভালো লেগেছে সবই, আমি সব জায়গায় 100% দিয়ে বাজাই। কিন্তু একটা জিনিস ঠিক, যে এর বাজানোর অন্তরালে আমি স্বপ্ন দেখছিলাম কবে অ্যাজ এ ল্যাটিন পারকাশনিস্ট আমার।
আমি বলে রাখি আপনাদের যে তখন কিন্তু ওয়েস্টার্ন মিউজিকের এত ব্যাপ্তি ছিল না সেই সময়টা কলকাতার বুকে, তাই তো?
মানে ঠিক করে বলতে গেলে যে আমি একেবারেই একমত যে এত ব্যাপ্তি ছিল না তখন। ওয়েস্টার্ন মিউজিক যেটা হতো সেটা একটা শ্রেণীর মানুষের কাছে ব্যাপারটা সীমাবদ্ধ ছিল। তখন মিডিয়া এত ছড়ায়নি, বিভিন্ন ধরনের ফর্মস অফ যেটাকে বলে পাবলিক মিডিয়া তখন এত ছড়ায়নি। তো এই নানান কারণে ওয়েস্টার্ন মিউজিকটা সীমাবদ্ধ ছিল। তো হ্যাঁ, তার আগে যদি আমরা দেখি আরো মানে ধরো 60-এর দশকে বা সেটা আরো সীমাবদ্ধ ছিল। হ্যাঁ, এখন আমরা 80 দশকের কথা বলছি, সেই তুলনায় ওটা প্রসার লাভ করেছিল, কিন্তু এখনকার তুলনায় সেটা অনেক সীমাবদ্ধ।
When I remember the first image of Kochu, musical images, যখন ও বোধহয় 7-8 বছর বয়স ছিল তখন থেকে he was playing music or something like that, like by way of আমার মনে আছে আমার আঙ্কেলের একটা গিটার ছিল, হাওয়াইয়ান গিটার, and it was old Hawaiian guitar, half broken. So he used to take that and medicine ছোট বটল নিয়ে ওটা used to use like a slide and play melodies and রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত or whatever that time he heard, or কোনো সিনেমার গান or whatever, just by ear, not any, by then no musical lessons we had got that, I think, no, nothing. So yeah, so he was obviously, you know, much ahead of, like as a musical inclination was much more than I had. I was just like normal kid. And then my ma used to sing in the evenings with harmonium and Rabindrasangita. He used to play tabla. And Also, funny thing is, Babar Tite he used to play beats and everything, and Baba never said anything. He probably used to enjoy it also. And then he was just generally making makeshift instruments like percussion. He was very like beat, or he used to play like দুটো tin, একটা butter tin, Amul butter, and একটা coconut tin নিয়ে দুটো, because they were, one was cylindrical, narrow, and one was fat and stout, broad. দুটো tape করে he used to play like a bongo, a pair of bongos. So so we used to play and hang out and play music, just generally fooling around. He used to play guitar, he used to sing in tune, I remember. Then one day he told my dad, "Ji, I want a drum kit chahiye." So he went, and in the car he told me, "Ami drums se boshe baji do." So he went to the shop, and I said, "This is a new instrument, you need both hands and legs coordination." He said, "Don't worry, I'll play." So he must have been koto boyosh actually, he must have been 13 or 14 maybe. He just sat on the kit for the first time, and he was playing like a basic drum beat with all limbs working exactly coordinated, and hi-hat on the hats by 8s and 2 and 4 on the snare, whatever. And he was then, I remember, his old Renault red kit, and Dad bought him, and then he started off like that. That was, and then before that I think Mom had brought him a real bongo for Gipton, and I remember it was a 48 rupee brand new red bongos, and he was super thrilled. And then he was playing and flying. I mean, he was practicing all day. কেউ বলতে হতো না যে প্র্যাকটিস করো, স্কুল থেকে এসেই বসে যেত, and then এইসব চলতে থাকতো. Then I think 1973 my dad had his first heart attack, and he was not well. So what happened was মা বললো যে it's like তোমরা just মন খারাপ করে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছো, why don't you play formally learn something. So guitar, so we started playing guitar, and so it's like, it's always been that kind of household, the music, and because of Mom coming from the huge musical background. So again, as usual, he started the first lesson. I didn't join. First week, I think a couple of months or maybe 1 month, he did guitar class. Then I joined, and I became the guitar player and his percussion. Even though guitareo onek kichu balato je I can't still play. His touch and his fretting and he swings much better than me, and even on the guitar. So all that kind of thing. So it's it's hard to separate time with Kochuda as much as like as long as music goes, he's like always music, and his time was just music. I just playing, singing, or thinking, or practicing. Then that's it, and then we carried on playing, and then I think that went on for a few years, and then school bondhu asto baatam practice kortam, no shows or anything, just musical school band baatam school. In fact, in Don Bosco, he wasn't ever Don Bosco, but he played I think in the band as Don Bosco student once. So it was that kind of fun time where, not very seriously, but later, much maybe 74, 75, like that, we started becoming very serious and started getting bands together, and buying instrument and really learning, taking seriously the music lessons, and even though the lessons were not that great anyway. So then I think Lamad স্কুলে মেন্টো পার্ক যে Lamad স্কুলে আছে, ওর উপরে একটা হল ছিল, অ্যান্ড ওখানে বিট স্টক বলে একটা কম্পিটিশন হতো। তখন আমি আর কোচুদা একটা ব্যান্ড ছিল নিউ ব্লুজ না মুন বিমস বলে, ডন বস্কোতে পড়তাম, আমি ক্লাস 8 এরকম, আমি তখন 8 হয়তো কোচুদা 6-এ পড়তো হয়তো, ভুলে গেছি মানে। সো উই হ্যাড আ ব্যান্ড, and then we went and joined the competition, and we saw all these professional bands, and funnily one of the professional band was Gyan and Jayashree, and playing in a band called Sugarfoot. So আমরাও গেছি, আমরা তো আউটার ওয়ার্ল্ডটা চিনতাম না, গিয়ে আমার নার্ভাস হয়ে গিয়ে ভুলে ভালে মানে যায় ব্যাড সিন। Anyway, so that was the beginning of, and তার আগে we used to play in small competitions and free schools today, and with all the Anglo-Indian friends, we grew up with a lot of Anglo-Indian friends, and ওইরকম হতো আর কি, মজা হতো, প্র্যাকটিস। আর আমাদের প্র্যাকটিসটা শো যত না তার থেকে বেশি প্র্যাকটিস, 8 ঘন্টা 10 ঘন্টা প্র্যাকটিস, সো নেগেটিভ। সো দ্যাট ওয়াজ দ্য বিগ থিং দ্যাট উই গ্রু আপ উইথ। শো প্র্যাকটিসটাই যেন মনে হচ্ছে শো, রাত্রে ঘুমোতে পারছি না এক্সাইটমেন্টে, কালকে আসছিস তো রিহার্সালের জন্যই উই আর, যেন মনে হচ্ছে ওটাই গিগ। ভালো রিহার্সাল করলে মা স্পেশাল খাবার করে আমাদেরকে দিত, ইউনো, অ্যাপার্ট ফ্রম দ্য জেনারেল শো। তো ছিল শো থাকলে তো উই ওয়ার ফ্লাইং বেসিক্যালি, সে তো টাকা পাই আর না পাই। সো ইউনো, সো ওইরকম আমি এটাই বলছি যে দ্য হেড স্পেস ওয়াজ কমপ্লিটলি ডিফারেন্ট, লাইক প্লে মিউজিক ফর দ্য সেক, enjoy the music, embrace the music. It's not like কত টাকা পাবো, you know, okay, that is also essential, but when you are in class 8, 7, 9, you're playing because you're in love with it, you're having fun. Sita is a little bit of lacking now, and it's little lacking now because people have become too intelligent nowadays, and the new generation has got this know-it-all vibe. So back to Kochuda's. And then we would play in rock bands and all, but he used to play drums, and Kochuda used to have side locks till here, like Elvis Presley, like Atota. You know, and then he started he had very, very long hair. And New Blues Connection, then we started New Blues. Our first professional band was New Blues Connection. আরও মধ্যখানে অনেক গল্প, মানে অনেক ব্যান্ড ছিল। একটা ব্যান্ড ছিল, সেটা ব্যান্ড না, মানে যার রাস্তায় যার সঙ্গে দেখা হতো, ও যদি গানটা একটা ভার্স জানতো, ও ব্যান্ডের পার্ট হতো ব্যান্ড। একজন ভার্সটা গাইছে, একজন করসটা গাইছে, একজন ব্রিজটা জানে না, সে ওইরকম। You know, we had and we did a gig in Calcutta School of Music, and it was such a bad gig, they stopped having bands after that. And I got I think Kochuda and I got 216 টাকা each, the first professional gig. 216 টাকা means quite a bit now, I guess. Anyway, so then I think after that we really formed a band called New Blues Connection, which was around 76, and then we returned back to that, no, 77, 78 I think, 77 I think. And then we returned back to this beach stop contest, and then we won it. And Usha তখন ছিল, she gave us a prize, the prize money, which was 3,500. She got 3,500 rupees, a lot of money that time. So we were, not the money, but we were so overjoyed we got the competition. We played some rock tunes like the Dire Straits and Allman Brothers, and that time Kochuda was playing like a full-on rock, and he was into the Ventures and all that kind of thing, but he was playing straight out rock also with us. With that, he always had that kind of jazz touch. He never had he never wanted to play that. He always had that kind of free, Mitch Mitchellish, jazzy, open sounding, you know, that kind of feel, which is great. I mean, I got it now. I mean, he did it that time. You know, that's how miles ahead he is like up. You know, I'm like way behind him. So you know, then New Blues Connection, and then we played a couple of bands here and there, and then Gyan and Jayshree asked us to play in the band called Airwave, which was like a pop band, and we started learning on the road like how to play pop music, which is damn difficult. I thought I was this long-haired, thin, long-haired guitar player, but when they asked me to play pop music, I was zilch. So Kochuda also played percussion with them, and he added that whole quality, and then he somehow, all this was going on, but underneath he started collecting this huge record collection from Free School Street at Purano Dokan theke, and I think, I don't know, and his students might know, I mean, he must be having some 700-800 records or maybe more, just Latin, Purano Latin music, and he started picking up this Cuban salsa and all that kind of music, and he was really so deep into it, and then obviously the rest is history. He's probably the only kind ever to be in this country, and sad this country didn't realize that. I mean, it's really, really sad, and it's sad for us. I mean, we just lost a jewel, really. I mean, I lost my brother, the students lost a teacher, and the father, they really, I mean, you know, the man had that, he could, I mean, if the band was playing and he was sitting in the middle, that was enough. You know, it took him away, the whole thing would change. I mean, he would just go and sit around his congas, and he would look like a lord, you know, playing. And he commanded that respect, and the students gave him the respect, and the kids loved him. The students like loved him. I mean, they still love him, really. So, but it's not only একদিক থেকে করলে হবে না, it's both ways. You know, he has to give that energy to the students and the fans and the listeners, and he got it back. And then where was I? Yeah, I mean, we were playing rock music around that time, Big Blues Connection. 80s came by, we played pop music with Airwave. Then we had another band called New Horizon. Then Coach Uda played percussion, and we had another drummer called Connor Club. So again we were doing this pop setup, but Coach Uda always had this Latin thing, and he was always playing the stuff more authentic than just a percussion player. He was playing, he was coming from the right place. Tik tak jagah theke aschilo. Tik ekdom correct, grammatically correct, sensibility. Oi jagah khub musical, artistic jagah theke aschilo. So then we joined Shiva, both of us, and Coach Uda played, because it was a loud band. Coach Uda played congas and he played timbales also, because it was a loud band. He wanted to kind of, and he played more of a stand-up kind of percussion, which he never liked. He always wanted to sit down and play, because that's the actual way of controlling the congas with your heel, and you can control the tone of the, control the air, which is part of the congas, inside the cavity of the conga body. So all that, but you know, he played with the rock band like Shiva, and we went around, we learned experience, and Coach Uda always said, you know, he always used to tell me that we are playing these Latin tilted rock songs, but this is the way how you should play, or we should play, and you know, people should do this and drummers should do that, and we have to play with the clave and all that kind of thing. Because that time he was really into it, and he was right there as a Latin percussion player. And then, but yeah, I knew somewhere in his head that wasn't his thing. You know, his thing was more Latin, jazzy, Latin kind of music. And then after that, after Shiva got thing, then we went to, then by the end of Shiva, we, I think 1991 or something, if I remember, 90s or something, or maybe very late 80s, we started writing tunes, and we had a little duo called D for Brother. It became like legendary, and we recorded and pushed to sell, and a room full of instruments, whether it was a rubber hammer from the Howrah station, or at a ghatam from Madras. Jay Shri brought him a ghatam, and he bought drums, and he had mridangam, he had kanjira, he had tabla, he had drum kit, he had timbales, he had tempo blocks, bar chimes, rubber tubes, everything. And he was doing everything musically, not 1 ounce of show off, no circus. ওটা অনেক, but only thing এখন আমি যখন ভাবি, he was way ahead. I mean, D4 Brother was way ahead of time. Later অনেক percussion player, অনেককে এখন দর্শক দেখে কত ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট বাজায়, অনেক percussion বাজায়, ওদেরকে দেখে মনে হয় যে কত ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট বাবা, ওটাই দেখতে যাচ্ছি. But that's all back, for me it's backdated, it's all done. Because Coach has done it and finished it, and he came back to just one shaker, and even one shaker would, you know, take years to, you know, achieve that. D4 Brother was really, really cool, and we were writing tunes which had this, I don't know, it had that Indian kind of, not obviously Indian way, but had an Indian sentiment with maybe Americano music, with kind of a little bit of rock. I don't know, it was quite hard to understand, and then we had the blues and everything, and Coach Uda used to write a lot of tunes, and in fact, Nilima, I played the changes, and first thing, the melody that you hear that is his first take. He just thought of the melody and just sang it, and that's on the tape. And the man could hear, I mean, I don't know, he had like like gigantic ears and a big heart. So he was way ahead of when it came to musical sensibility. He's somewhere else. I'm talking like this not because he's gone. I used to tell people when he was alive and kicking, and I always realized that some things, some aspects of a human, you're born with this in your genetics or in your DNA. You cannot practice and achieve that. I'm not scared to work hard or practice 12 hours or 15. But I've seen Kochuru just doing it in 15 minutes, and he's doing it way better than I do even now. So, those things you have to let go. You have to surrender to that thing. Okay, let me try, but he's somewhere else. I remember musicians from abroad, America, New York, whatever, they wanted to come jokingly tell him, I want to cut your wrist. So Kochuru told, why? He said, no, I want to see if Cuban or not. I'm there, and Evelyn Glennie was here in Calcutta, and Kochuru were very friendly with her, the percussion player from England, and they understood each other like that because they were talking the language of percussion in the real way, and so he never been to Cuba, but how did he manage to get that? And he never had even 1 day of lesson as far as percussion is concerned. Never. So this is like a mystery. He was like a real conguero, he was a master conguero, and he looked like a master. When he was moving, he was dressed up for the gig with his chain and everything. He looked like a drug lord with the students walking with him. That they are the chelas and disciples, and he's the lord. And he really had that vibe. So when he played congas, he had that vibe, and it's sad that no one really got him. And he was such a guy playing it in Kolkata every Monday or every Thursday, I think in the old days, every Thursday. People went and saw him, but people would have, especially students of all genre of music, should have been there at his feet watching him, because this man won't come in a hurry. This kind of stature, this kind of level of musicianship, you will never see it. Especially Latin percussion, I doubt this country will ever see it. And the country, actually he's gone, but country will miss him. Country lost it. Country lost a person like that. India lost a jewel. Kochuru was a jewel. It's impossible to learn and play that kind of music if not being in the country, not being there. I remember at very late, I think the last gig or the second last gig Skinny played, it was about maybe 1.5 years back, Tao Hovenamura, before Jay Shri fell ill. We were doing a tune, and then he was playing timbales because the band again was loud, so he was just playing a pair of timbales. And you just give him what timbale, you just give him one, like I said, just one tambourine, and he'll kill it. So I was playing guitar, and he was playing a lot of funky rhythm kind of thing, and he wasn't playing, he was just playing like a kaskara, like barely being heard, for the first verse of this tune. And then when the band launched into the second verse, he just took an intro, very timbale intro, and maybe 2-3 strokes. And Jaiva and I kind of looked at ourselves. I said, "What was that?" Like sounded like $1 million phrase, and the band sounded like whoop, like twice better than what it was. That was the magic of the band. Just playing a little phrase that took the song into the next level, by energy, by finesse, by sensibility, by artistic value. He had it all, man. He was wearing a white shirt and a normal pair of trousers, but gave him those sticks, man, you're dead. You know what I mean? So he had that. So I remember that instant. He would do that very often. He would shock people on stage.